For years, there was one tall, silent figure who always stood at the edge of the spotlight, never speaking, never reacting, always watching. Barron Trump. While the world gossiped about his father's scandals and his mother's icy elegance, Barron remained a ghost behind the tinted glass of Secret Service SUVs. He didn't give interviews. He didn't post on social media. He didn't even speak in public. He became the biggest mystery of the Trump legacy, the only one who hadn't revealed himself. Until now on the edge of adulthood, Barron has spoken, not with noise, not with a social media rant, but with a calculated, deliberate move that shook the Trump family from the inside. Sources close to the family whisper about a deep rift, a long-standing tension that has been quietly boiling beneath the surface for years. And now Barron, the boy who never said a word, is finally telling his side of the story. Donald and Melania Trump have stood side by side through fame, fortune, politics, and power, from their first meeting to their rise as America's first family. But their path was anything but ordinary. As Trump secured his second bid for the presidency, Melania remained an enigmatic presence, one that stirred curiosity and speculation every time she emerged from behind the curtain. During the inauguration, she made a rare but stunning public appearance, dressed in a tailored navy coat and wide-brimmed hat, a look that was both elegant and distant. Though she's one of the most private first ladies in American history, her influence has never gone unnoticed. In a 23 interview, Trump finally opened up about her absence on the campaign trail, and the reason left more questions than answers. To be honest, Trump once said, "I wanted to keep her far away from it. It's disgusting. It's nasty." He was talking about politics, the brutal, relentless circus of power, lies, and loyalty tests. But how did this power couple begin their story in the first place? Their origin goes back to 1998, at a lavish New York Fashion Week party glittering with champagne, celebrities, and secrets. That's where Donald Trump first locked eyes with a rising Slovenian model, Melania Naus. He was already a billionaire real estate mogul. She, statuesque and composed, didn't melt at his charm. Instead of handing him her phone number, she made him chase her, and chase he did. From that fateful night, all the way to a star-studded wedding in 2005, and eventually to the most powerful address in the world, the White House. It was a relationship that captivated the world. And now we pull back the curtain to reveal the secrets, the trials, and the defining moments behind one of the most iconic power couples of our time, Melania and Donald Trump. The night everything changed came in 1998. Donald Trump, already a billionaire real estate mogul, spotted Melania Naus at a Fashion Week party in New York. But here's the twist. He wasn't exactly single. At the time, Trump was still legally separated from Marla Maples, and he had shown up to the party with another woman on his arm. Still, none of that stopped him from setting his sights on Melania, a move that would eventually alter both of their lives forever. She was 28, statuesque, striking, and already making waves in the New York fashion world. Melania Naus, the Slovenian model who would one day become First Lady, had instantly caught Donald Trump's attention the moment she walked into the room. But she wasn't easily impressed. In a 2016 interview with Harper's Bazaar, Melania recalled that fateful night when Trump boldly asked for her phone number, despite arriving at the party with another date. Her response, a swift, unapologetic rejection. "He wanted my number," she said, "but he was there with another woman." Naturally, she didn't give it to him. Instead, she turned the tables. "You give me your number, and I'll call you," she told him. A move that flipped the power dynamic from the very beginning. It was a test, and Trump passed it with flying colors. Rather than brushing it off, he responded with intensity. He gave Melania every single phone number he had, his office at Mar-a-Lago, his New York residence, even his private direct line. A few days later, Melania made the call. "I was impressed by his energy," she later admitted. He had incredible vitality at the time. Their connection was real, even if Trump's personal life was far from simple. His divorce from Marla Maples, with whom he shared his youngest daughter, Tiffany, wouldn't be finalized until 1999. Before that, Trump had spent 15 years married to Ivana Trump, the mother of his 3 eldest children, Donald Jr., Ivanka, and Eric. But despite his complicated past, Trump continued to pursue Melania, and the relationship began to deepen. Still, it wasn't all smooth sailing. In 2000, when Trump briefly launched a campaign for the Reform Party presidential nomination, the pressure of media attention and political scrutiny caused a temporary split between the two. But by February of that same year, after Trump ended his run, the couple quietly reconciled, a subtle yet powerful sign of the emotional bond they shared. Over the next few years, Melania became a steady presence in Trump's world, appearing at high-profile events, always by his side. By 2004, after nearly 6 years of dating, Donald Trump decided to go public, and he did it the only way he knew how, in full Trump fashion. It was at the Met Gala, one of the most glamorous nights in fashion, where celebrities and designers lit up the ballroom with diamonds, flashbulbs, and whispered drama. That night, in the middle of the crowd, Trump got down on one knee. He proposed to Melania with a stunning 15-carat diamond ring from Graf, and she said yes. It was a moment that set the stage for a love story that would one day lead not just to marriage but to the White House. Their journey from a chance meeting at a New York party to a luxurious wedding in 2005 to raising Barron Trump under the harsh lights of global scrutiny was only just beginning. As Trump launched his presidential campaign and re-entered the White House for a second term, Melania once again found herself back in the spotlight. Despite being famously proud and fiercely independent, her next chapter remains just as captivating as ever. Would she step into a more active role this time? Or would she maintain her carefully curated distance, silent, elegant, and in control? One thing is certain, the story of Donald and Melania Trump is far from over. When Donald Trump knelt down at the 2004 Met Gala, Melania Naus was caught completely off guard. A massive surprise, she would later call it, but it marked the beginning of a partnership defined by power, allure, and ambition. Just 1 year later, on January 22, 2005, they exchanged vows in a lavish Palm Beach wedding at Mar-a-Lago, attended by Hollywood elites, business titans, and political figures alike. From the beginning, their relationship was anything but conventional. Trump famously saw no need for a honeymoon, quipping, "Why would we leave our beautiful Mar-a-Lago for some dirty island?" Instead of indulging in a honeymoon, the newlyweds dove straight back into their high-profile lives. But behind the glitz, Melania had her own quiet, deeply personal plans for motherhood. On March 20th, 2006, she gave birth to their only child together, Barron William Trump. From that moment, Melania embraced her role as a devoted mother with full heart and intention. Trump, never shy about speaking bluntly, made his parenting stance clear. "I'm not going to do diapers. I may never even see the kids." But he added, "She's going to be an incredible mother." And she was. As Trump's political ambitions took center stage, Melania transformed from a high society woman in Manhattan to a poised campaign figure and ultimately the First Lady of the United States. During the 2016 campaign, she remained calm and reserved, standing beside him with quiet strength. She called him a great leader and a brilliant negotiator, while Trump praised her as a wonderful mother. But when Trump won the presidency, Melania's first move stunned many. She delayed her move to Washington, D.C., choosing instead to remain in New York so that Barron could finish his school year without disruption. It was a decision that shocked political insiders, but also highlighted her fierce independence and unwavering loyalty as a mother. Throughout Trump's presidency, Melania kept a low public profile, yet her presence was felt. Quiet, measured, and deliberate, she held influence not through speeches, but through conviction and restraint. Through scandals, political storms, and relentless media scrutiny, Melania Trump maintained her poise, always graceful but intentionally distant. While other first ladies embraced the spotlight, she remained selective in her public appearances, her aura wrapped in mystery. She supported initiatives like her Be Best campaign, advocating for children's well-being and online behavior, but still guarded her privacy with fierce determination. Even after leaving the White House in 2021, Melania largely disappeared from public view, reportedly focusing on raising Barron and protecting her personal life from the chaos of headlines. But now, as Trump returns to the White House in 2025, all eyes are once again on her. Will she fully embrace the role of First Lady again? or keep her carefully measured distance. From New York high society to the political battlegrounds of Washington, the journey of Donald and Melania Trump has always been defined by calculated moves, enduring loyalty, and a bond that defies expectation. As they step back into the global spotlight, one question lingers in the air. What will Melania do next? Donald, Melania, and Barron Trump, a family under the lights, watched by the world. When Joe Biden was sworn into office in 2021, the Trumps withdrew from the center stage. But now, they're back. For a time, Mar-a-Lago faded quietly from the political stage. The public presence of Donald and Melania Trump grew more subdued, with Melania maintaining a notably modest and distant posture. But by 23, the former president was back, launching a historic political comeback campaign. When asked about Melania's role in his bid for re-election, Trump remained vague. But then, with a reassuring smile, he added, "She's a very private person, but she loves our country." Then everything changed in July 2024. Trump survived an assassination attempt that shocked the nation, just days before the Republican National Convention. The dramatic moment caught on camera showed a bullet grazing Trump's ear, a near brush with tragedy that could have ended very differently. In a rare public statement, Melania broke her silence. Speaking solemnly, she revealed how the moment had shaken their entire family. "When I saw that bullet hit my husband, I realized our lives were standing on the edge of devastating change." Just days later, at the Republican National Convention, Trump publicly thanked Melania. His voice firm, his words deliberate. And in doing so, he made something clear. Despite years of speculation and distance, their bond remained unbroken. Known for her measured and reserved approach, Melania made a rare and powerful public appearance, standing beside Trump to express her renewed support for his presidential run. But this time, it wasn't just Donald and Melania returning to the global spotlight. Barron Trump, once the quiet, almost invisible youngest son of the former president, was beginning to make waves of his own. Now 6'7" and a business student at New York University, Barron had transformed. No longer the teenage boy hiding behind the Secret Service, he was emerging as a rising figure within his father's campaign. Though still largely avoiding public speeches and media attention, insiders say Barron played a key role behind the scenes, offering strategic insight and leveraging relationships with younger voters to breathe new life into the campaign. At just 18, Barron had become a quiet force, shaping his father's political resurgence, not with slogans or sound bites, but with subtle influence and a deep understanding of a generation. By the time Donald Trump stood once again on the inaugural stage in January 2025, the atmosphere was electric. Cheers erupted across the National Mall as he officially returned to the presidency, flanked by his family. Then, with a proud smile, Trump couldn't resist introducing the figure who had captivated whispers and speculation. "I have a very tall son. His name is Barron. Has anyone heard of him?" The crowd roared. It was a moment, powerful, unscripted, and viral. The towering 18-year-old standing quietly beside his father had suddenly stepped into history's lens. From love and resilience to political resurgence, the Trump family story was far from over. With Donald back in the White House, Melania re-entering public life, and Barron carving his own path, the next chapter promises to be as riveting as the last. At Donald Trump's second inauguration on January 20th, 2025, it wasn't just the 47th president who commanded attention. It was Barron Trump, elegant, composed, mysterious, who in one quiet moment stole the spotlight and ignited curiosity across the world. Standing behind the presidential seal, Barron Trump cut a striking figure. Clad in a dark suit, a crisp white shirt, and a lapel pin of the American flag, he radiated calm confidence and understated charisma. His poised demeanor sparked whispers. Could he be next? Observers drew bold comparisons. Some said his presence had shades of a young Elon Musk, magnetic, analytical, unreadable. Trump, proud and unscripted as always, couldn't resist drawing attention to his son. "I have a very tall son named Barron," he repeated to the roaring crowd. "Has anyone heard of him?" Cheers erupted once more as Barron smiled, waved, and threw a playful thumbs up, gesturing for even louder applause. At just 18, a freshman at NYU's business school, Barron had helped mobilize the youth vote in his father's historic victory over Kamala Harris, cementing his growing role in the evolving Trump legacy. As Trump took the oath of office inside the Capitol Rotunda, with Chief Justice John Roberts presiding, it was clear. This wasn't just a political comeback. This was the emergence of a new generation. But who is Barron Trump behind those closed doors? According to his personal tailor, Nathan Pierce, the young man America is now watching isn't your typical political heir. He's sharp, refined, and refreshingly grounded. Barron Trump carries a maturity far beyond his years, a quality that continues to surprise those who meet him. Nathan Pierce, who worked closely with Barron in the weeks leading up to the 2025 inauguration, was struck by the young man's keen eye for fashion and meticulous attention to detail. Unlike most teenagers, Barron doesn't just wear luxury, he manages it. He selects the fabric, chooses the buttons, even specifies the lining himself. He once took a solo trip to Louisiana just for a fitting, a level of independence that even seasoned professionals found impressive. But what truly sets him apart isn't just his style, it's his warmth and effortless charisma. Despite being raised in privilege, Barron is described as engaging, gracious, and remarkably knowledgeable, especially about history. Pierce recalls being welcomed at Mar-a-Lago as if he were an old friend, a small moment that speaks volumes about Barron's ability to make a lasting impression. He's not just another name in a famous family, he's carving his own identity with quiet confidence and an undeniable charm. At just 18, Barron Trump is proving he's not merely a political heir, but a force in his own right, blending fashion, business, and strategy like a seasoned professional. While his inauguration appearance turned heads for his towering height and refined style, it's what happens behind the scenes that reveals who he really is. Barron's relationship with bespoke tailor Nathan Pierce came through media mogul Justin Waller, a key figure in the business world. Justin introduced us, and within a week, I was on a plane to Mar-a-Lago, Pierce recounts. But Barron wasn't just some kid with a famous last name. He was sharp, business savvy, confident enough to hold his own in a room full of industry titans. Unlike most teenagers I've ever met, Barron doesn't follow trends, he sets them. From choosing fabrics and buttons to specifying inner linings with conviction, his sartorial choices continue to impress even seasoned professionals. But fashion is only one piece of the puzzle. In 2024, Barron co-founded a luxury real estate venture with two business partners, including his former high school classmate, Cameron Roxburgh. The company, initially launched in Wyoming, was temporarily dissolved after Donald Trump's election victory, a calculated move to avoid unwanted media scrutiny during the heated political climate. But now it's reportedly scheduled for a strategic relaunch in spring 2025. While balancing coursework at NYU's Stern School of Business, Barron is quietly laying the foundation for a legacy of his own. He's not just watching history unfold, he's building his own empire. At Donald Trump's 2025 inauguration, all eyes weren't just on the 47th president. Barron Trump made a commanding impression, stepping into the spotlight like never before. The once silent teenager had evolved into a towering presence, both literally and symbolically, standing tall beside his father. With a freshly styled haircut, a perfectly tailored navy suit, and undeniable confidence, Barron radiated quiet power. But it wasn't just his style, his height stunned onlookers. Now 6'7", 2 meters tall, Barron towered visibly over Donald Trump, creating a surreal image as the two waved to the crowd. The moment went viral, a striking contrast to his last inauguration appearance in 2015, when Barron was just a quiet 10-year-old boy, watching history unfold from the sidelines. Now he's ready to shape it. 8 years later, he had evolved from the quiet, almost invisible Trump child into a young man whose presence could no longer be ignored. Tall, poised, and impeccably styled, Barron Trump had stepped into view, but always on his own terms. His high school years were far from typical. As the son of a former U.S. president, Barron lived under an extraordinary level of security. At Oxbridge Academy, the elite private school in Palm Beach where he completed his education, Secret Service agents were a constant presence, shadowing him through hallways, classrooms, and school events. To protect his privacy, Barron even used a pseudonym, Jack. while enrolled. Although teachers and classmates knew his true identity, this alias provided a fragile but vital layer of anonymity. In a world eager to dissect every move of a Trump, this thin veil was sometimes all that stood between him and invasive curiosity. Unlike the spotlight-loving children of other political dynasties, Barron actively avoided attention. He declined to attend school football games and skipped prom, events many teens consider rites of passage. Instead, he embraced a quiet, deliberately private lifestyle, surrounding himself with only a small, trusted circle of peers. While others chased recognition, Barron chose retreat, and in that retreat, he found focus and the freedom to grow beyond the expectations of his last name. Cautious and guarded, Barron Trump maintained a fiercely private life, extending even to any potential romantic relationships. But for someone as private as Barron, complete invisibility was never truly possible. Not with the Trump name. In 2024, his name unexpectedly made national headlines when Donald Trump publicly expressed frustration over nearly missing his son's high school graduation due to a court appearance in New York. It was a rare and unfiltered moment, a father's candid emotions shining through the fog of legal battles and political warfare. For once, the nation wasn't talking about Trump the politician or Trump the mogul. They were talking about Trump the father. The moment reminded the public of an uncomfortable truth. No matter how fiercely Barron tried to live under the radar, he could never fully escape the spotlight that comes with being a Trump. As he crossed into adulthood, Barron remained one of the most enigmatic figures in the entire Trump family. Unlike his older siblings, who had eagerly embraced the political and business empires built by their father, Barron's path remained undefined. But one thing had become clear. He was carving his own road, whether he wanted to or not. With his towering presence, quiet poise, and dignified demeanor, Barron had become an object of public fascination. And as the world watched, not with judgment, but with curiosity, the question loomed ever larger. Would Barron Trump follow in his father's footsteps? Or would he chart a course entirely his own? As Barron steps into adulthood, the world watches, waiting to see whether he will embrace politics, business, or carve out a unique identity entirely his own. After months of speculation, Donald Trump finally confirmed that his son had chosen to attend university in New York. Although he remained tight-lipped about details, Trump told the New York Post he's ready to attend a top school. The revelation fueled public curiosity, especially when reports noted Barron's absence from freshman orientation and other college events. Such a marked absence raised questions. How will Barron adapt to college life? Under intense media scrutiny, what path will he chart in this new chapter? Breaking family precedent, Barron opted for NYU's Stern School of Business, rather than following the footsteps of older siblings at Princeton, Georgetown, or UPenn. Though raised in Manhattan, his decision to remain in the city wasn't just practical, it was deliberate. It's no surprise that Donald Trump chose NYU for his son, a familiar city, top-tier education, and most critically, a measure of privacy where Barron spent much of his early life. Unlike his older siblings and Hemmings, who entered the Trump organization young and publicly, Barron is following a different path, one that allows him to build his identity outside of his father's business empire. Although he keeps a low profile, his presence on campus at NYU is impossible to ignore. At 6'7", he caught the attention of students and faculty alike. His poised confidence and distinct aura instantly became talking points. Insiders say he's definitely a man's man, even among female students whose admiration continues to grow. Not attention-seeking, Barron is described as discreet yet approachable, noticed not for his last name, but for his sophisticated demeanor and sharp intellect. Despite the political baggage of his family, Barron seems intent on forging his own future. His choice to study business and real estate signals a deep interest in building something from the ground up, not simply inheriting his father's legacy. His quiet ambition and education at one of the world's most prestigious business schools suggests that he's laying the foundation for a career separate from the Trump brand. Yet Barron faces a unique challenge, balancing college life, personal ambition, and the unrelenting scrutiny that comes with being a Trump. Every move is watched, parsed, and debated. But insiders say While other family members embrace the spotlight, Barron has consistently chosen privacy, making him one of the most compelling figures of the next generation. Now settling into his freshman year at NYU, the big question remains: will Barron Trump continue to stay hidden, or will he rise as a leader in business, politics, or even public life? Either way, he is no longer just the youngest Trump. He's forging his own path, defining his own legacy, and the world is watching. Although Barron declined the opportunity to serve as a delegate at the 2024 Republican National Convention, citing prior commitments, he was far from absent during his father's historic presidential campaign. Behind the scenes, he played an increasingly active role, offering insights and strategic counsel that surprised even seasoned campaign staffers. Melania later revealed that Barron was deeply involved in the 2024 effort, helping to identify key connections, analyze political strategy, and share views on critical national issues. Unlike his siblings who embraced the spotlight early, Barron remained reserved, but his influence grew quietly and significantly as he stepped into adulthood. What's become clear is this: Barron Trump is no longer an outsider to the Trump legacy. He is deliberately carving his place within it. Whether he continues to balance between private citizen and public figure, or chooses to take on a more prominent role, Barron has shown that he is far more than the youngest son of a former president. This evolution came to life in a stunning moment during Donald Trump's 2025 inauguration. While the nation celebrated his 47th president, eyes were also fixed on his youngest son. Barron's public appearance sparked a social media frenzy. Gone was the shy boy from earlier campaign events, replaced by an 18-year-old with a commanding presence, sharp features, and an unmistakable sense of maturity. Wearing a perfectly tailored navy suit and sporting a sleek brushed-back hairstyle, Barron's transformation was impossible to ignore. But it was his towering height, now 6'7", that truly stunned viewers. As he shook hands with his father on stage, the contrast with his 2017 appearance as a quiet 10-year-old was striking. The handshake moment quickly went viral, symbolizing just how much he had changed, not just in height, but in presence. And yet, despite this attention, Barron has remained composed. Public curiosity grows, but he continues to master the delicate dance between visibility and discretion, revealing just enough to captivate while keeping his deeper intentions his own. Barron Trump remains one of the most enigmatic figures in American public life. His upbringing was shaped by extraordinary security measures and a deep commitment to privacy. During his years at Oxbridge Academy in Palm Beach, Florida, U.S., Secret Service agents followed him from classroom to classroom, ensuring his protection at all times. To preserve anonymity, Barron was enrolled under the pseudonym Jack, a rare move that highlighted the extreme lengths taken to shield him from public scrutiny. Though he was known for his sharp intellect and friendly demeanor, he deliberately skipped traditional high school experiences such as football games or prom nights, choosing instead to keep his private life, including any potential romantic relationships, firmly outside the spotlight. His name made headlines in 2024 when Donald Trump expressed disappointment about almost missing Barron's graduation due to his criminal trial in New York. The moment was a reminder of how different Barron's teenage years had been, far removed from the lives of typical American youth, and even his own siblings, who were active in public life from an early age. Now, as Barron enters adulthood, the world is asking, what comes next for the youngest Trump? Though he's spent much of his life avoiding the public eye, recent shifts in his fashion, presence, and growing independence suggest that he may not stay in the shadows much longer. At 18, Barron is now laying the groundwork for his future, one rooted not only in politics or family legacy, but in business and real estate. While most college freshmen are still figuring things out, Barron seems to have a clear vision of where he wants to go. Now enrolled at NYU's Stern School of Business, one of the top business schools in the country, he is immersing himself in a curriculum tailored to global finance, real estate, and entrepreneurship. In 2024, he took his first bold step into the business world by co-founding 2 companies with his high school friend Cameron Roxburgh and another undisclosed partner, Trump Future and Roxburgh Capital Inc., both registered in Wyoming. Notably, the company was registered on the same day as the Republican National Convention, which Barron notably skipped due to prior commitments. 4 months later, following Donald Trump's re-election victory, the companies were quietly dissolved. According to Roxburgh, the move was a calculated decision to avoid unwanted media attention during the volatile election season. But it wasn't an ending, just a pause. Plans to relaunch in spring 2025 were already underway, with a refocused strategy on high-end real estate development, including luxury properties, premium golf resorts, and potential strategic partnerships with the Trump Organization. Even though Barron has not publicly spoken about his business ambitions, sources close to him say he thinks big, understands his generation's market, and has bold ideas he's eager to realize. Unlike his older siblings, Ivanka, Donald Jr., and Eric, who were ushered into the Trump Organization from an early age, Barron appears to be taking a more independent approach, learning through real-world experiences while maintaining his signature discretion. Of course, his last name opens doors, but it also comes with challenges. The Trump brand is both an asset and a liability, particularly with his father back in the White House. Every move he makes will be magnified, scrutinized, politicized. But one constant remains: Melania Trump's fierce protection of her son. Unlike Trump's other children, who have embraced political visibility, Melania has ensured Barron stayed shielded, and that instinct may persist. She encourages him, one family source noted, but always with a cautious eye. With powerful family ties, a strategic mind, and an emerging entrepreneurial drive, Barron Trump is stepping into a world of real influence. The biggest question now is, how will he shape his own legacy? Will he become a real estate mogul, a modern-day entrepreneur, or something entirely new? One thing is certain: he is no longer just the youngest Trump. He's now a player in his own right, ready to make his mark on the world. Will Barron Trump continue to shield himself in mystery? Or will he one day break the silence and emerge as a key figure in politics or business? Will he define himself as a modern heir, continuing the Trump legacy on his own terms? Or choose a completely different path, far from his parents' shadow? Will Barron's bond with Melania remain a steady anchor as he faces the crushing pressure of media and public expectation? As Barron matures, will we witness the rise of a new Trump generation, polished, private, yet quietly strategic? The story of Barron Trump is only just beginning. What do you think? Are we witnessing the rise of a future powerhouse? Stay tuned for the next chapters in this special series on the Trump family and behind-the-scenes power moves in America. If these stories inspired you, surprised you, or just made you curious, don't forget to follow, like, and share. Now tell us in the comments, what do you want to see next from Barron Trump? Thank you for staying with us. See you in the next part. Goodbye and have a wonderful day.